Hi there, I'm just wanting to do a little video. I'm wanting to do a video on the self. There's actually no self. You know, when you don't even go that far deep actually. And I'll explain why. You see, the ego is the part of ourselves that basically has an idea of something or is attracted to something. But if I do something and then 5 minutes later I decide I want to do something else, that thing I just did becomes non-existent. Nothing. I'm no interest anymore. And that's how quickly things change. So if the ego is the thing that identifies with me doing something, can all of a sudden not be something, then that means that it can only everything. If it's illusion, then it can only ever be illusion. If you're not real, you can never be real. Because you know, if you identify with something and then you've changed that, then that thing you were before is dead to you. So at best, you know, you can only ever be imagining what you think you are for a short period. It's a bit like going on a fun fair ride. You go on a fun fair ride, it'll end soon, but then once you're off it, it doesn't really mean anything anymore. Really. You know, it might be a memory, but it really doesn't have any significance or importance in your now experience. Really, as you're going forward. You know, so this is what identifies the self. That's what the self is. It's this ego. But the ego, if the ego, you know, can change its mind so quickly, can 1 minute be something and then be nothing, then that means it can only ever be nothing. So that means the ego doesn't exist then. So if the ego is the only part that is identifying with the self, if the ego is the only part that's the idea or the identity, but yet the ego doesn't exist, then you can never really exist. You can only exist within a dream. Within a dream, an idea, an illusion. And so if it's a dream, then you're not going to take that seriously. And this is what happened to me with this awakening. You know, I'm getting shown things more and more. And this is why, you know, you realise that I don't take people seriously anymore. Because I know that everything is just illusion within the dream. So when if people have a different point of view, for example, it's just, everything's just different sides of the same coin. The same infinity, the same consciousness. Everything's one infinite consciousness. And yeah, you know, you don't fall into a dream, for example, at night time until there's nothing, until you're experiencing absolute nothing, deep nothingness, and then you sleep and dream. What's the difference between waking up in the morning? It's just another dream. You see? And also, you know, if you were to ask everyone in the world, I say this a lot, that they would all agree, everyone can agree that you're only ever here. Everyone will agree that they're only ever here thinking of something else. That's the thing. And, you know, people talk about parallel realities, it's more parallel expressions. And these infinite parallel expressions infinitely go on. So it's like, and that makes nowness perfect because it's got infinity to run itself. That means it's like you running a race infinitely, making that race perfect, or that run perfect, without the present you having to do anything. And that's what makes nowness perfect infinity. You see, the fact that the infinite parallel expressions is infinitely doing it, making the nowness perfect, because it's got forever to do so. It's like having a time machine. You know, having a time machine going back or whatever, and you can, but you think you don't realise what's going on with the other, because the time machine would just be a parallel expression, you see. And it would make, and you'd have no consciousness or awareness of that thing. Yeah, and I just wanted to do a video on that, really. One thing leads to another when I talk. Because I go over the information relentlessly. I go over this stuff relentlessly, and one thing leads to another. And yeah, and regarding the self, that's what the self is. It's merely just ego, and ego is just the part of you that wants to do something. But once you've done that something, it just turns into mist, and then you're doing something else. That mist, see, there's always mist of consciousness, and that's what makes reality. Because all the mist mashes together, you see, in the dream. It's like a reflector consciousness, which is actually a thing and spoken of in science. And reflector consciousness is like this mist, and it mashes against itself, making this physicality. And if you mash things enough, it creates form and stuff. Yeah, and but obviously, I'm actually going through a spiritual ascension journey, which is how I access this stuff. But everyone can access it. It's all within. How you access it is you look at all as you. But it takes deep authentic. You've got to be authentic. Deep authenticity is how you access your within thing. If you don't mean it, then it ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. But anyway, I just think I'm going to end it there. If you're watching, you're meant to watch it. Everything falls in divine order and divine timing. Thanks very much for watching. Thank you.